Yeah, I've had a couple of like other creepy incidences. I had like one guy who like sent me like a love letter, and he's like, I saw your wonderful advertisement at the Vons in La Jolla.
Oh no.
I'm just newly single, and I'd love to get to know you.
What?
Full long thing about like him and all this
Where
stuff.
did he send the letter to? Like
My
your
office. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Behind the Lockbox. I'm Stephanie Zalewski here with
Cameron Barbier.
and today,
Hello.
Hi.
Vidi is with us.
Hi guys. I'm so excited to be here.
We're
This is
so
so
glad
fun.
you are. I know. I was like, okay, will you come on? And literally the text said, Steph, I am always camera and lights ready. Isn't that what you said? And I was like, yes, she is.
good.
Any opportunity for an Instagram, anything, you know.
I love that.
You gotta keep out
and I
there.
love that you own that. Like, I have a love-hate with social media. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
Vidi is a San Diego native, has been in La Jolla for years and years and years. You were saying your parents worked very, very hard.
Yes.
First of all, you guys own many properties throughout La Jolla,
Yes.
but you guys started in La Mesa. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And then you eventually got here to La Jolla.
I've eventually made it. My dad's in real estate. My grandmother was in real estate. She's owned 2 brokerages.
Oh, wow.
And she sold homes. She was like powerhouse back in the day when
Love it.
a lot of women didn't work.
Yeah.
And my grandpa actually made her quit working and made them like sell all their properties and moved to
wow.
Hawaii because it was really hard for him to handle. It was a different
generation.
Yeah. Different generation.
It's a different time.
She was so sharp. She loved to work,
Yeah.
and I feel like I love it so much too.
Yes.
Because
It gives you purpose. She does too. I mean,
gives you purpose.
you
Yeah,
know,
she
she just
does.
had her second child a year ago, and I was like, "Are you going to come back?" And she's like, "Oh yeah,
I have to.
Yeah,
You know,
you want something
need
for
that.
yourself.
You want
know?
something for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I don't even have kids, and I feel that
Yeah.
way, and I think I'd feel the same. You know, so anyway,
Yeah, you definitely need it.
But you've been in the business for just about 20 years, and gosh, we met 7 or 8 years ago. I mean, it's been a
Yeah, I
while.
feel like
but we
it's
used
been a
to,
while.
yeah, we used to see each other all the time on Caravan.
Yeah.
and we've just been friends ever since. And now we need to go to happy hour because we
Yeah.
keep missing each other on
Yes.
our group text. But
Yes.
you know, we'll get there.
Well, and that's the funny part because we are considered young for La Jolla.
It's true.
So I have like my young people posse.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, like we're not young anymore,
who's
but
going
we're still young
Still young.
for
Okay.
this
The
rest of the
generation
people.
of like La Jolla top producer, like, you know.
But you and I
we
are
start
not
going
Rob
down.
Brown young and Dylan Moore young.
No. I can't go out past
Those
9 p.m.
psychos. You guys have heard me talk about this because I've shamed them a couple times on this podcast. They wanted to take us out. They're like, yeah, no lead. I was like, oh my God, I love that place. They're like 9:30. I was
I
like,
know.
AM?
No
way.
I know. I was on that text and
Yeah,
I was like, you guys, I can't make it.
Yeah, but
Sorry.
you have kids. I had no excuse. I was like, I got to put my dog to bed.
Oh, no. I still would have had.
I flat
thank
out told
you.
them
Well,
that was
actually,
like
that's true.
not happening.
If I was single
happening.
and I probably would have been down there raging.
I
did
was-
win life of the party.
I wasn't.
at La Jolla High 98.
I mean, girl,
I think Matt was that too.
He did. I bet he was.
He probably was.
I
Tommy
did my
Crudo
time.
and I. Won,
Who?
Tommy Crudo
Oh
and
my
I won life of the
God.
party together in our 1998 class high school yearbook. There's a picture of us in
Oh,
there.
that's so
that
good.
is amazing. I feel
Yeah.
like we need that photo to put up on the YouTube. So you're
Yes.
going to need to go to your yearbook and screenshot that to me, please. Thank
Yeah.
you. I know. I mean, I was like, all right, put your big girl pants on. Like you, and you know, because
You should have gone. You should have gone.
I love a good
you
time.
did have no excuse.
But 9:30?
That's really.
It wasn't happening.
I
It
meant
wasn't
that by like 7:30.
Yeah, it wasn't happening. Anyway, Vidi, welcome to Behind the Lockbox.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm so excited to be here.
This is a party girl podcast now.
All
you know?
right.
Oh, just drop that. That's
Yeah.
okay. Anyway,
Yeah, it's a party girl.
well,
Let's go.
Because we've been around each other and in the business for so long, I know you have stories.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I do have stories.
Okay, what do you want to hit us with first?
I mean,
We
do you
didn't
guys
talk
want
about-
a fun client story.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't talk about what you were going to say because I like to be genuinely shocked. So
Okay.
Go for it.
Perfect.
Go for it.
Well, this was actually not that long ago either.
Okay.
So this was like a couple years ago.
Okay.
Of course, it's a listing agent, somebody that we know.
Sure.
But I never told him. He's never known about this. So if he
Ooh.
if he hears this, he may figure out who it was.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I'm showing this like amazing like 4-point-something million house with my clients who I got referred from like another friend like up in like Sacramento, I think.
Okay.
It was.
Awesome.
Anyways,
Love that.
Random, but they're like wonderful tech couple, and we're showing, this beautiful house, and we're going through, and she's like, oh, is it okay if I use the restroom? And I was like, yeah, of course. Like every time a client says, can they use the bathroom?
Always.
Sometimes I'm always like, ugh,
Yeah.
because I'm,
They're like, it's right there.
Do you have to really?
yeah. Well, and sometimes you feel uncomfortable, or like if I don't want to be too close to the door, I don't want to hear anything.
Yeah.
you
Right.
know?
And you don't want to like
It's like
hover.
anxiety.
Yeah. You're like,
anxiety.
I'm gonna go upstairs.
Yeah, I like run away. So her husband and I, we like walked out to the balcony, and we were out there, and she like comes out, and she's like, Vidi, oh my God. And I was like, what happened? And she's like, I just took the biggest dump, and I clogged the toilet. She said it like just like that.
admitted this?
Yes, she admitted it, and I was dying on the inside. I was so embarrassed, and I was like, I didn't know what to do, obviously. So I just was like, okay, well, there's nothing we can do. Like otherwise, I'd have to call the agent and tell him, like my
Was the
client,
house
like
vacant, or
pooped.
did somebody live there?
No, it's vacant.
Okay, well that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
It could have been
but I
like-
didn't know what to do because I was so caught off guard, and
Okay,
I had like 3 more houses to show. So I was just like, okay, well, no big deal. I'm sure they'll figure it out, and like we just like left. But I was in shell shock.
Was
for,
it Dolphin? Was it my listing?
No,
So last week,
no, it was not your listing.
last week, Daniel Albrecht was on, and he also had a story about this where someone climbed the velvet rope at a YPN event at a house that they had over on Whale Watch and clogged the master toilet. And they purposely
During the
blocked
party.
during the party, right after the party had started. And then I told him, I was like, oh my God, like when I had Dolphin, we had people break in, and like we had to turn the water off and do some repairs and things like that. And I went to go show the property, and I go into the upstairs hall bath, and the toilet is full of shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my, and Daniel's like, was it you? And I was like, I would admit it. So I
Was
love
it
that
you? He said, was it you? Oh
And I
my
was
God.
like, no, I swear. And of
Obviously,
course,
why-
and
if you did it, you would cover your tracks. We are women.
100% would.
Yes.
But I also said I would have admitted it. I would tell you, like, if I had, you know what I mean? Like, she was like, Vidi, I clogged the toilet. Like, it happened.
I know, but I would still never tell anybody.
That's
if
what
I
you
clogged
said,
the
isn't it?
toilet
Yeah.
somewhere, I would like, I don't know what I would do, but I'd
Just run.
I'd cover it up with toilet paper on top and make it look like pretty, and then I'd probably like scoot out the door and just act like everything's normal.
Everything's fine.
I wouldn't confess.
Oh my God. But
Would you?
Well, I don't know.
A vacant one too. I'd be like, whatever.
Yeah.
They're probably gonna have an open house soon.
And
I
it
could
was
be one
my
of those
listing.
people.
So if it would have been me, I would have like called someone and been like, bring me a plunger. Like I would have
Yeah,
called you.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But
You would have called me. No,
I totally would
bring
have called you.
a
I
plunger.
100% would have called you. But I closed the toilet and I'm like, I'll deal with this later. What does the prospective buyer do?
Lifts the toilet.
Of course
seat.
they do. Have you
Yeah.
ever seen anyone lift a toilet seat?
No,
Except-
I close all of them when I'm going through showings. Like
That's,
Yeah, yeah.
that's how I found
I run into
it.
every bathroom. I
Yes.
make it look pretty.
Because also I just think, why does the toilet also
it doesn't need to be up.
I'm also a big toilet seat closer. I guess
Yes.
Yeah,
I
me too.
hate when the toilet
At my
seats
house
are
too, I
open.
close everything.
Yes.
Close everything.
Yes.
Close everything.
And I
yeah.
think it comes from living like, you know, my house in Arizona and like my parents' house, like we had like water closets like in the master bedrooms where like, you know, it's its own room. And so then if it's like, okay, nothing else is in there. But here you just use my restroom. Like the sink is right next to
Yeah.
it. And like not only does things fall in the toilet, but like I close it before I flush. I don't want like the
Oh yeah, the stuff.
water
part-
and
the
stuff
part-
flying
yeah,
in.
yeah.
Yes.
Particles,
Yeah,
yes.
thank you. It's a thing.
Yeah,
So
it
I'm
is a
such
thing.
a toilet seat closer. So like if it would have been me, I would have dealt with it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But that's how I found it. And of course this buyer just, and I'm like, and then Daniel's like, they probably thought it was you. Like, I know they probably
They did think it was you. Did they end up
me.
buying something?
Not, they didn't buy that one. Someone else did. But like I got it all cleaned up. But
Okay. So you were the.
It wasn't
I
her
was
buyers.
listening.
Oh,
it
you
was,
were showing
it was
it. You were
Dolphin.
showing
Yeah,
it. You
yeah,
were
yeah. And
showing
I
it.
was
Okay,
like,
got it.
come on, man. Like it happens though,
Yeah.
you know? So in that instance, I don't know who you have to tell us who that agent is after, but if you're listening, Vidi, sorry.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
It wasn't her. It was her client.
It was not me. It was my client.
But we definitely left it. And at
I can't
Dolphin,
believe she said it in front of her husband either. Like my husband still doesn't know I do anything.
And well, girls don't.
Yeah, we don't
Do
do
anything.
anything. Yeah, nothing.
does Matt know?
Yeah, we live together.
I mean, we live together, but we don't. I never
Yeah,
talk
we don't, like,
about
talk about it.
anything. Like, no, I'm like
Fair. There is
have-
fair.
I'm like very anti all that stuff. I train my kids too. I'm like, you're not allowed to.
There's
like,
manners,
Yeah,
of
yeah,
course. Yeah. I am much more like, we don't need to talk about it, but like I'm open of like, you know, when I'm living with someone or, you know, on vacation, it's like, yeah, sorry, I gotta like,
Oh
you
my
know.
God, the worst is when you're
absolutely.
dating.
Oh no, I would never do that. No.
I think it would take, it takes time, but like if I'm gonna,
I'm like, no,
yeah,
don't do it.
if I'm gonna live with someone, it's a factor of life. Like that doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? But like, I'm
there's
not gonna announce
emergencies,
it.
I guess. Like
Yeah,
maybe
totally,
there's an emergency
totally.
once every 5 years.
But I like that you're keeping like
Yeah.
the romance,
The
like, you
romance,
know,
yes.
yeah. Some things need to be, yeah.
Well, my youngest daughter loves to like literally go into the toilet. I'm like, why of all things? My first into any of that, and now I have to get those little things to stop the toilet going up. Yeah, I'm like, why do you have this fascination with the toilet? It's
She's
so
your
gross.
second. She's just, Pip is very like,
They're all weird.
yeah,
All the kids are weird.
They're all weird.
They're all weird.
they're all little weirdos. They
Yeah,
really
they're
are.
all
They really are.
weirdos.
I love it.
Just like little aliens trying to figure everything out.
She is though. It's so cute. Oh my God.
Mine would be like, look at my butt, like
And
all
you're
the
like,
time. I'm like, oh, I was like,
okay.
great. Looks great. You know.
It looks really great in those pants. Okay, let's go. Stop
Yeah.
talking about your butt.
Yeah,
No,
let's-
but mom, look at my butt. No. We don't need to talk about your butt.
Yeah. All
So
the time.
cute.
So funny.
Oh my God. And they're getting so big.
They like
too.
potty talk. You know that. Yeah, potty talk. Once they learn a potty word, that's all they want to talk about.
Oh,
too.
of course. Of
Yeah.
course. And Pip is already, I feel like Blake is like that.
Blake tells me to stop doing potty talk. And I'm like, girl.
My husband tells me to stop doing potty talk too.
He's like, no, Vidi, no. You're like, what? I don't know.
He's like, you don't even poop, so why are you talking about potty
Yes,
talk?
I know. I don't do anything. I'm perfect.
I'm perfect. I'm very beautiful. Don't you see?
Yes.
Everything is great right here.
It's all a facade.
Oh my God. It happens though. This happens a lot. And it happens in open houses.
Yeah.
I've had that where I've gone in and someone's like, my daughter, like, and I'm like, okay, like, let me go figure this out. You know what I mean? But
And that's the thing. It's like, okay, if it's like an emergency
Sure.
and you're at a
Yes.
house or something, but
Yes.
don't you do like the secret middle flush? I don't want everybody to know what I'm up to.
Oh, yeah.
first of all, thank you. Yes. And also it's like a courtesy. Like,
I know,
flush
it's a
right away.
courtesy. It's a
Flush right
courtesy.
away. Turns out the last 2 weeks have been toilet podcasts. So
Yeah.
everyone, this is how you flush. Vidi's teaching you. Courtesy flush, right?
Yes, courtesy
thank
flush.
You. Thank
Yes.
you. Max,
Yes,
do you have
if
that
it's an
down?
emergency and you're at some weird place.
And close
yeah.
your toilet seat at home too.
Yes.
That's for your wife. She'll appreciate that.
Well, I love that other people have had toilet stories.
Oh no, they
because-
definitely have. Yeah. I mean, Priscilla Conley, she actually had this weird guy come into an open house with a rooster, a pet rooster.
Oh.
And he locked himself in the bathroom for like 30 minutes and she had to have a worker come and like chase him out of the house. Yeah.
So weird.
People are so bizarre.
Yeah, people are really weird.
And we encounter all of it. So anyway,
Yes,
on that note, what else you got?
we do encounter all of it. Yeah. Actually, that also
Leads
reminded
into something
me-
else.
Yeah.
I know. This always incites like other stories. You're like, I didn't even think of this. I'm going to tell this. Okay, go. What is it?
Well, one, when you're a woman and you're by yourself at an open house, it can be very uncomfortable.
Yes.
Because everybody wants to, not everybody wants me, but
No, but
like they want to like chit chat and like, and you get like the weird like dudes who come into these places and it's like super uncomfortable. I had one guy come in and he like smelled like alcohol, and that was the first time I was really, really scared.
I hate that when
And I
your
had
heart
to-
starts racing
Yes,
and
my
your
heart
body
started
is
racing.
like
No, it was like-
viscerally reacting and you're like,
I
something is
knew,
wrong.
I felt like something was wrong and I was
Yeah.
really scared. I was there by myself. I had like a back door open. And
is
he ended
good.
up like leaving, but I was like, F this. Like, why am I putting myself out here?
Yeah.
Like now, if I do anything, I always have somebody with me.
Same. Yeah.
Because
I've
talked
kind of
about
quit
that before.
doing them by myself. We've talked about this a few times
Yes.
on the podcast that
it's not safe,
not safe,
anymore.
no.
it's not. And it's not, I don't even go in when I'm doing showings now with buyers, and you probably do this too. If it's a house that like the agent's not meeting us at, or the seller didn't just leave, and I know it's like, even then, I never go in anymore without my client. I'm like, we can go in together. We can get the lights on together. This does not need to be a fancy thing. Like all the lights are on. And, I used to be always so prepared, and I'd go in and like, I've walked in on squatters being there before, and
Yes.
it was scary as shit.
I've walked in on
Like,
squatters, too.
It's so scary
It's
because
really scary.
you don't know what they're going to do. And agents have been attacked. I mean, unfortunately, not to get to a dark place, but there have
No.
been women that have been murdered
No,
and
totally.
attacked. And like, it's very terrifying. And we have our signs, and it's clear that we have female names. And like,
Yes.
if you're holding a open house like all weekend and they keep seeing your signs out there and stuff, like, it's just, I either have like a male lender with me or someone on our team.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it. It's
No,
not,
It is not worth it.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of like other creepy incidences. I had like one guy who like sent me like a love letter, and he's like, I saw your wonderful advertisement at the Vons in La Jolla.
Oh, no.
I'm just newly single, and
Oh, boy.
I'd love to get to know you.
What?
Full long thing about like him and all this
Where
stuff.
did he send the letter to? Like
My
your
office. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So that was like super weird. And then I also had another client who I was showing him and his wife property all the time, right? So I'm
Yeah.
like working with them all the time. And then he sends me an email and says he wants to sleep with me. Yes. And have like a full like like side thing with him. And I was like, oh my God,
He
like,
put
what do I
that in
do?
an email?
In an email. Yeah. He's like, you're just so beautiful. And like, I've loved spending time with you.
That poor
And
wife.
I know. Well, they got divorced. Obviously something was like off.
Yeah.
Off.
And she was
what did
like,
you
really
do? Did
sweet.
you like have to kind of cut ties or like,
I just like pretended it didn't happen and didn't say anything. 'Cause
like
I
you
didn't
didn't get it maybe, or
I just like didn't know what to do.
Right.
And then I just kind of like just stopped working with them because I was like, this is obviously super
this is
weird.
so weird, and like what am I gonna do
Yeah.
or say now?
And I
Like,
felt, and I was just like, you know what, I'm not gonna spend any more time with these people because I don't want to be uncomfortable. And this guy's a freaking creep.
no, and also like what if he
Like,
said
what I'm gonna be
something
like,
to his
oh, yeah.
wife
I know, that's
not
what I
true?
don't
So
understand.
I'm ready. Like, let's go.
What did he think you were
I don't
gonna say?
know.
Has this
I don't
worked
know.
in the past? Like
It must, because like, why do they do that? It's weird shit.
I don't know, but like I don't know why people think like this stuff. Yeah.
Also, like, why
very
is he leaving a
uncomfortable.
paper trail of like his
An email.
affairs? Yeah,
I know, but like, or even like, but I'm not like, I wasn't gonna go to his wife and be like, hey, your husband emailed me and like wants to like hook up.
no, the best thing is
was,
just
like,
to like
really-
cut the ties and just be like, oh,
Yeah.
sorry, like wish you guys well, you know. And obviously she saw the writing on the wall because
Yeah.
she divorced him. That's
Yeah.
like the septic with all the condoms that you
yeah.
found at that escrow a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
Yeah, he was cheating on his wife
Cheating on his
and
wife.
like was flushing condoms down the toilet, and they went to pump the septic and it was completely clogged with like hundreds.
and he got caught.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, that's not
Not
I
good.
know.
mean,
could you imagine?
the audacity.
Well, and that's the thing when you're like you're putting yourself out there. People can look up your social media and have all of your
Yeah, it's scary.
advertisements.
Yep.
They see you like all over the place.
Your phone number, our phone numbers are out there.
You seem familiar to them.
Yep.
Because I've had people like walk up to me and they're like, "Oh, I feel like I know you from somewhere." And you know, because you're just putting yourself out there all the time, so you do have to be careful. I stopped filming stuff in front of my house.
Good.
I used to, and my husband was like, "What are you doing?" And
Yeah, I
it's
know.
true.
It's,
and it's
you don't
true.
think
Someone
about it
could
in the
see.
minute, and then you're like, yeah, or they could geotag it or whatever.
No, and somebody was like, someone's like, "Oh, I know that house." Like they knew exactly where my neighborhood is because it's like very obvious.
Yes,
you know,
yes, it is.
because you.
Especially if you know it here.
Yeah, if
like,
you know it, if you're from
Yeah.
La Jolla, you're probably walking by my
Right.
house at some point.
Right.
So yeah, so I stopped doing that, and I'm trying to be a lot more careful.
We have to be.
Yeah.
She was saying a couple weeks ago that she even took, I mean, obviously she's not selling like we are. She's our business manager and like behind the scenes and stuff, but you had to take your phone number and stuff off, right?
Yeah. Well, some guy came to our office like looking for me because he found my, you know,
It's
my
like,
phone number and
yeah.
all that stuff. So I took it off my Instagram. So I'm like,
But he was looking for you to like ask you out on a date.
I don't know. He's like,
yeah.
oh, I've been following. I'm like, okay, bye.
No. Oh my God. Yeah.
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 Like, no, thank you.
No, it's like it definitely creeps you out when you like realize that these
yeah.
people.
And again, our faces
everyone
are
knows I'm
everywhere.
married too. Like these people
they don't care.
They
don't care.
Yeah, I
They
know.
don't
I'm just
care.
saying in general.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, you would think like they know
Yeah.
you're married. you know?
100%. Well, and again, all of the ads that we put out
Mm-hmm.
and, you know, the different, like, you know, and you have some really cool advertising around town with Vaughn's and on some bus benches
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So your face, I mean, my face is not even that out there that
Yeah.
much. You know, I'm in paper and magazines and stuff, but like, it's terrifying. I've
Yeah.
had people be like, Stephanie, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
How do I know you?
Like, I feel like, should I know you or should I be rude for my safety? Like, what do I do? What do
Yeah.
I do? You
Yeah,
know what
yeah,
I mean? And it's just, they're like, oh, I just saw like I know so and I'm like, oh, okay. Like,
Cool. Yeah.
okay, bye.
You're like it's like
doesn't happen a ton,
it's what
but it
you're
has.
working towards. And,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you want
you want
everyone to
that? I
believe.
know.
But then sometimes you're like, this
like a
is so
double-edged
weird.
sword.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is a double edged.
It really is.
It's a double edged sword.
Yeah, because you're like, this is weird. And again, I mean, some of the men that have come on have talked about that, and they're like, yeah, sorry, like they don't have to
don't
worry
know
about
that.
that.
Yeah.
They don't think about it in that way because it's like not a thing for them. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, totally.
yeah. Anyway,
But all of the advertising, it works in
does.
like a circle because I had someone find me recently, and I don't know how she figured everything out, but figured out I worked at Oppenheim Group, and then
oh yeah,
she reached out to me about one of our listings, and then like you know what I mean, like
Yep.
but somehow she put it all together. So your ads and you know all the stuff you're doing, this
true.
podcast, like all
Yeah.
of that stuff comes like full circle. And
It does.
So they probably see you in a few different places, or she
For
maybe
sure.
saw me in like a magazine and then
For sure.
put it together. So
Yeah, I had a client actually. It was just like 2 years ago now, but she called out of the blue, and I've quit answering numbers I don't know because there's just so.
I
much
don't do it
spam.
either.
I know.
I'm like, look, if you're real, you're gonna leave me a message. or
Leave
shoot
me a message or
text.
text me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
You
yes, you're
absolutely
gonna.
will.
If you're trying to get a hold of me,
Because
you're
every
gonna
time
leave
I
a
call,
message.
it's like that awful fax machine.
Ugh,
then they
I
have your
know.
voice that says hello, or it's someone
Yeah.
like it's like beep, and then they start talking to you from like God knows where, and you're just like, okay. But I happened to answer this day, and she was like, yeah, I was Googling and I found you. And I'm like, how? Like, where? You know, but it's true. Like, because we are so many places. Like, she was looking, and I think she saw something on social media, or she knew someone. I don't remember how we did, you know, came about full circle, but it does work, and it's what we need and want, but
it comes with a price.
Yeah. Sometimes it
comes with the price.
Sometimes it
and
does.
It's also a whole nother full-time job we have. Besides selling houses, it's like our marketing and social media.
Well, you do a lot of like your own stuff too. I feel like
it's impressive.
Yeah.
I love it.
You have to love it in order. And I have a love-hate. Like again, we're the same age. Yeah. Realize. And like, we didn't grow up with it. Right. No. So you either have to love it and be all in. Yeah. And like, it's a lot of work. This is a lot of work. You know what I mean? This is a lot of work. All of it's a lot of work. And so, but it's fun and I'm happy to do it. But I go through like lulls where I'm like, oh, I haven't posted anything in like a week. Like, because people, you know, they need, Max and his team are always like, the people need to hear from you. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. Like, you know, like, but it's true.
It's true.
Because then they get in your algorithm and they see you and you stay top of mind. Yes. And like, you know, look, this is so fun. And this was a love child for me because like, I'm very creative and I wanted something else to like.
I do mine for my creative outlet because I love fashion.
100%.
Well, I remember
like
you
my
had like a
you know? I'm like, I get to perform.
Closet in your office when you were at
I know, when you were with us, I was like, I'm going to go shopping in Vidi's closet.
I know we had a meeting there the other day and I look over, I'm like, oh, I miss looking at all the clothes.
Same. We miss you.
The dynamic in that office like just got a little like different too. Yeah, I was like, I was
off on our kind of
you guys have your own little space over there. But yeah, so I ended up working. I have an office at home now.
Oh, good.
And it like looks amazing.
Do you need me to come shopping in your closet is what I'm asking.
I have very large closets. Yeah. Okay, I have lots of stuff.
I'll be over tomorrow.
Yes. It's very fun.
Any of that Gucci or Chanel I've seen you wear, I'm like, oh, I'm going to steal that right off my little body there. Give me that.
Yes, I do love to shop. That's another passion of mine.
Did you see the reel I posted last night about the tax write-offs?
No, but I love that one. I haven't done it yet. I know which one you're talking about.
You need to do it.
Yes.
Where it's a write-off.
It's a write-off.
Who writes it off?
From
the government.
Who? From who? Yeah.
How do you pay for it? Nobody. It's a write-off. And I'm like, and my aunt is my accountant. So I'm like,
yes.
Does that Alice and Olivia jacket that I just bought, is that a write-off or what are we talking about? And she's like, absolutely not. I'm like, no. Oh, okay.
I know. That's the one thing that's cool. So upsetting is because we really do need our fashion to be out here and to be selling.
You want to look nice.
It's a part of it is a part of like your sales box tool, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And certain people want to work with you based on, you know, how you present yourself and you find your people, you know, or like, you know, it's just something. So I think it should be a tax write-off. Because you do need it.
Who are we going to lobby? Who are we going to lobby for
I don't know, but it's been bothering me for years.
Okay, well, get on it. And I will
get it done.
It's very upsetting to me.
You're very convincing. So I will sign your petition and I will back you 100% on this, okay? Yeah. Because then we can do more shopping.
Yeah, but you really do. You do have to look your best for this job.
You do. And I also I like to look and feel. Like when I feel like when I dress well and I look my best and like I'm a very casual dresser as it is, but like when you put something on and you're like, this feels so good. Like your confidence goes up. Like you just, and we need that in this business, you know? So, and I just
can be casual and elevated at the same time.
Elevated. So, I like that.
I am elevated
casual. You have a very elevated look. I put together. You've got everything.
Elevated casual is actually like my go-to. Like anyone's like, what do you wear? I'm like, for dinner, it's like elevated casual. Like, because I'm always in jeans. Like jeans are my jam, you know? Like I love a pant.
You love them. You feel good.
But like I want, you know, some cute elevated stuff too. So, oh my God, can I please go shopping?
Yeah.
We're like ringing your doorbell. Fun. We're like, we know where you live.
Yeah.
Saw it on Instagram.
Saw it on it. Your husband's gonna be like, damn it, I knew it. Vidi. Who are these girls? They're harmless, I swear. They're just coming to steal my clothes.
Yeah. Exactly. I do get an occasional like text from somebody like asking if they can borrow something, and I'm like, no. I was like, this is so awkward. I would never like reach out to people to like ask to borrow
unless
stuff.
It's like one of your best friends. You know what I mean?
No, I don't even do best friends now.
Fair enough.
Because then you have to worry, what if they lose something?
Well, it would be a select few.
Or are they like, you know, whatever, then they have to like, I don't know. It turns into a whole thing. So I stopped doing it years ago because I had so many bad experiences with people not returning my stuff. Or they'd mess something up.
Well, you have good shit, so I probably won't return it either. But
Oops, I lost it.
Oops, I don't know what happened. I show up to Reba next week. You're like, that's my jacket.
That's my jacket. What happened?
I don't know what you're talking about. I bought this.
Oh my God. You guys, honestly, like Reba, like gives me life. I don't know what I would do without it because it's our social hour, comedy hour of my life. I like laugh the whole way through. I'm literally like, ha ha ha.
She actually, we sit at the same table and like someone will be up there and I hear this. I'm like, I sit
because I'm like, I'm dying.
all over
I'm
on
dying.
that
I
table.
can't handle it.
Sometimes my back
Because
is
people
like
are ridiculous, or I haven't been in so long.
yeah, or like
It's
some
just
of them
so-
are really funny, but
Yeah,
all of a
some
sudden
are funny.
someone will be up there pitching, and then I hear Vidi. Like
Yeah.
from like the back, like I'm down here and she's like 6 seats down at the other end.
Yeah.
It's so good. And I look over and she's like,
Well, sometimes like the outfits are ridiculous. Like it's just there's a lot of stuff. Some of the pitches are so long and ridiculous. I'm like, dude, get off of there. Like, come up,
just wanna
say
be
your
up there.
point.
the best is when
Like, this is
Charles,
not-
shout out to
I
Charles,
love Charles. Oh my
Charles.
god.
obsessed when he's like, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Is he still standing in the corner?
Oh yeah. And then Lori Lynn has a bell. And so I'll be like, and she was sitting at the end of our
get the
table
bell.
last week. Remember when
Yeah.
Doom and Gloom was up there?
Yes.
And I was like, hit the bell. And she's just like, oh, and like hits the bell. And that's like,
I love-
it's like
oh.
ding, ding, ding. And then like, okay, I'm wrapping it up. It's like the Oscar music playing or whatever. It's
Yeah.
so funny.
Charles' Grinch costume was hands
I missed
down.
it because I was on the East Coast for 3 weeks.
It was incredible because he was up there and he had like little hands on the thing, and then he like looked over at me and he
Stop.
just like looked so cute and
His
grinchy
little,
in his
like,
little
furry,
costume.
like-
oh my god, it was amazing. I was
That's
like, this is the best. Yeah, I got a really good video of him.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to see that. I'm
Yeah,
so sad
it's
I
really
missed that. So I told you I just became an aunt and I'm obsessed with her.
Yes,
So I
the
was on the
best.
East Coast for 3 weeks and I was there like basically all of December. So I missed all of that, but like
Yeah.
you know, I had to be there with my little peanut.
Well,
so.
that's why we go.
Yeah.
Because, now with clear cooperation, I'm like, oh my gosh, can we do anything? Are we allowed to do anything? Like, you just want to tie my hands behind my back?
It's rough. And for anyone who doesn't know, clear cooperation, we can't just like can't have pocket listings anymore. You can't pitch off market stuff. If you have a signed listing, you can't talk about it unless it's within your own brokerage. And if you do put it on the MLS, then it has to be live within like, whatever, 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever it is. So unless it's coming soon.
So you can only talk to people that you trust.
Yes.
Trust dearly.
You didn't hear that.
You didn't hear it here.
You didn't hear it here. We don't do that. Just kidding.
Yeah, we don't do it.
SDAR, NAR.
Yeah.
NAR. Who cares about?
No,
I mean, they're
we are full.
they're in the
rule
pooper anyway.
followers. We are
Yes.
rule followers.
to the end.
Yes.
By the book.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyone on YouTube's like, yeah, her face is lying. Anyway.
I know.
Oh my God.
Like the wink.
I know,
The
exactly.
signals.
Behind the Lockbox is sponsored by Property Showcase Group. Property Showcase Group has a team of creatives, directors, producers, editors, marketing specialists, and designers that work in tandem to tell and share stories of the built environment. Whether you're looking for full-service production or simply just need content creation, Property Showcase Group can help take your business to the next level. To learn more or to contact Property Showcase Group to schedule a consultation, you can find them at propertyshowcasegroup.com. That's spelled PROPERTYSHOWCASEGROUP.com. PropertyShowcaseGroup.com.
Do you have another story or do you want to play a game?
Ooh, I'd love to play a game.
Because this might incite some stories.
Okay, yeah, let's play.
All right,
Let's play a
Cam.
game.
So Cam's going to ask you 3 like rapid fire questions.
Okay, let's
So
go.
like first thing that comes to mind, and I'm super curious about the last one for
Yeah,
her, but I
yeah.
think I already know. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. What's the craziest or pettiest thing that's ever killed or almost killed one of your deals?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I had an agent who like didn't even want to like drive to her final walkthrough and like kept trying to ask me to do everything. Like it was like the final walkthrough. Oh, can you be at the inspection for me? Just like a bunch of
weird.
stuff. And it was hard for me to keep my cool because she lived in Crown Point. The deal was in Pacific Beach. And
Which is
she's-
also
so
Crown
easy
Point
for
is
her.
and she wanted
Pacific
me to
Beach.
bring my handyman to help the buyer. I was helping her with her buyer. It was my listing. So of course I'm like willing to do whatever I can.
Of course.
I want to get the deal done. And
Right.
like I'm working for my client too.
Yeah.
But yeah, she'd be like, oh, well, can we push the time back? Cause I don't wake up until 9:30 or 10. And I would just
Must
be like,
be nice.
What? I'd be like, what? So I just got so frustrated with her. And I like finally got to the point where I said something cause she was
Yeah.
like starting to give me more pushback like later about, oh, she wanted me to like drive over to take a picture of a repair that my handyman did. And I was like, you drive over there. I was like, I'm tired of doing stuff for you. I was like, you need to get over there.
What was your
and take
seller
the
saying?
photo.
Were they like, this is like,
Oh, my sellers are the best. I just sold them a house in
good.
Bird Rock recently.
oh, good.
So,
but they were, I'm
they
sure
love
they were
they
like,
love this shit. This is like their 3rd transaction with me. I've
they're
sold
like,
stuff
give
to
me all
their,
the drama, give me all the tea.
all
like,
their friends and family. Oh my god, they eat all of it up. So they're
that's
like
hysterical.
this
They're
is-
like, tell us more. You're like, no, I'm so frustrated
Yeah.
and mad. They're like, no,
Yeah.
what else did she say? You're like, I don't want to talk about it.
oh yeah,
That's
no, I was
funny.
just
That's
like,
so good.
yeah. So I mean, I was like, oh my god, I never want to work with this lady again.
It's
But
rough.
she does like one deal a year. And so it's frustrating and annoying. And I'm like,
And she wakes up at 10. I mean,
yeah. I was like, who wakes up
I kind
so
of want
late?
that life.
But I really was like at my breaking point. She pushed me to the edge.
Tough.
And I tried to stay cool.
Yeah.
Because I was
It's
like,
hard.
I just got to help her, you know?
It's hard. And more often than not, like, and that was another fun thing about like starting the podcast is like, we all get to like interact with each other and we already do.
Yeah.
But then we can like, we're already lamenting to each other about everything that happens all the time. Right.
Yeah.
But then I love nothing more when I look and someone wants to see a house and it's like one of you guys like on the other side. I'm like, yes. Like,
I
and that happens more often than not, but we do get, you know, these instances where it's
riffraff.
Yep.
whether it's the agent or it's the client or it's the buyer on the other side or whatever the case may be, like it happens. We work with the public, you know?
Yeah.
So
and I learned some tough lessons along the way because it's not easy to be in this business. It's high pressure.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, you're like your clients are upset. Everybody's upset sometimes. And yeah, I've lost my cool before, but that was many years ago. And
Totally.
Now I've learned like it's not worth the fight. We got to work together. But I had an altercation.
Totally.
I've had an altercation with an agent or two in the past. And it was like, it's very like frustrating.
It is.
And it gets really ugly. Like I've had a lot of the older men talk down to me and talk to me like I'm like a 2-year-old. I had one of them make me cry, you know, because it's like, it's hard to
and their egos are
their
so
egos.
crazy.
There's a lot of ego in this
a lot
business.
of egos, and it's like really hard to like maneuver that.
Yeah.
But you know, you learn from all of
You
that.
do.
And
You do. And I will say, you know, on our team, like I'm a little fiery. And so I would be quick to, you know, be like, what the hell? You know, that kind of thing. But what I've learned is, I mean, silence is golden.
silence is golden.
And when I get quiet, it's a little
sleep
scarier.
sleep on it for a night.
For sure.
Which is what my husband always tells me. And then
so
he like
smart.
eye rolls when I don't listen to him. And I'm like, you know,
Should
and
not
he's
have sent
"How-"
that
like,
email.
He's like, how'd that work out
the
for
keyboard.
you? Yeah. I'm like, yeah. He's like, how'd that work out for you? I'm like, not good. Yeah.
Not good. But I got
Okay,
it
you were
out.
right.
I was like, I was like, God damn it, you were right again. He's always
hate
right.
admitting that. I know.
He's always right
Same
in
with my
business.
husband.
He's like,
I know.
Yeah.
They are, but you learn a lot though, and
Yeah,
we have to
you
get
do
through
learn
that.
a lot.
I've only had one instance where it was really bad, and the agent was actually screaming at me on the phone, and I was able to keep my cool for the most part.
Yeah.
And then I started laughing at her, which I think pissed her off even more. And then I was like, "You're super condescending. Like, we shouldn't be talking to each other like that." And then she flipped out more, and it was just like my stomach hurt. I hated
Yes.
every minute of it. I
Yes.
don't want that.
No, we don't want that.
No, we want to work together. Like we're all
do.
working
We
towards
have
the
to
same
work
goal.
together, yeah.
Even the buyer and sell, like we are all
All of
working
us.
towards the same goal.
The other agent is like a client. That's how I picture it now.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you're like another client to me because I want to end this on like a wonderful note so we can work together.
I
and
want
have more
people to want to work with me.
Yes,
I want
me
people
too.
to be like, oh, good, stuff's
good,
on the
it's
other
Vidi.
side.
Yeah.
Yes.
I totally agree.
Exactly. Because then, and it's just, it makes things more fun because there is, again, I don't want to say nothing better, but like when the buyer and seller aren't agreeing, but the agents are like banded together and when they're
That's
like,
why
we
we're
will
here.
figure this out.
The whole
Yes.
point of our
It's
job.
the best because you do make it through at that point.
Yes.
And that does happen more often than not where it's the buyer and seller not agreeing on stuff or they're pissed off because, you know, they're starting to get petty or whatever that happens. I mean, we've had agents come on and be like, a refrigerator seal almost killed the deal because, and then I paid for it. My seller didn't want me to pay for it.
I know.
And they said they were going to cancel. And it's like, or a washer and dryer. And it's like, I will go to Home Depot right now and buy you a washer and dryer. Like,
no big deal.
I will
That's
pay for
easy.
it
That
with
is
my
an
debit
easy
card.
fix.
Like, yes,
Yeah.
like it's so crazy. And on our team, we call it buying the deal. Like, let me just buy the deal for you. Like, it is not in the grand scheme of things, $2,000 when I'm getting.
No.
Yeah.
It's insane.
That's nothing.
No.
I had to pay my clients rent recently, amongst tons of other stuff that I did. I paid for movers, but I had to pay for her
Wow.
rent. I got reimbursed for the rent. But,
Okay,
you know,
okay.
it just turned into one of those things, like, because she has a trust fund. So she doesn't have access to like all of her
Everything
money
at the
all
moment.
the time
Yeah.
at like the time. So
Right.
and like our escrow kept getting like pushed back and like we had to like
needed some help,
keep
yeah.
waiting.
Yeah.
And so I was just
Yeah,
like,
if we get reimbursed, like, it's fine.
yeah,
Like,
I was like, all right, here we go, $11,000 for my client's rent. You know, you have to like write, but you've got to get these deals closed, and the
You do.
the deals have been harder to get done
Yes.
the last year and a half
Yes.
because there haven't been.
We don't
there
have
hasn't been inventory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to like kind of grind every
sure you
single
get it all
one
done.
like
Yeah.
through. But I was like, by the end of that, I was like, I got my money back. I was like, all right, all is well, because you never know what's going to happen in the end.
you don't.
Yeah.
I was
And
like,
so,
but you know, you got to.
well, we talked about this last week too. Like, again, another reason for the podcast is like simply that people don't know everything that we put out or everything that we go through and how much money we actually hemorrhage every single month.
I'm hemorrhaging.
I mean, it costs
I'm
like
traumatized.
it costs like $10,000 for us to wake up in the morning.
Yes,
truly.
Yes,
between
truly.
marketing, between expenses, between health insurance, between everything that we're paying for.
$10,000 easy.
Easy. And that's just me. I'm single. Like you have a family, so it's a little bit different, you know. And so it's and again, if something doesn't sell, we're out that money.
Done.
Yep, you're out that money.
When it comes to buying the deal and just being like, let me just pay for this because I would rather, it's been now a month or 2 months or whatever. It's like, let's just, because then also they're happier. And that client will come back to you.
Squabbling,
It's not.
And it's not worth, I mean.
It never is.
Yeah, I have those conversations. Well, I had a seller recently and, we were literally talking about like a $500 credit, like nothing.
You're like, I will cut you a check
right
now.
It just got really like,
down to the pennies.
And I was like, and I was like, okay, I'll just take care of it. And like, don't worry about it. And they were like, oh my God, like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, of course. Like, it's totally fine.
We do that a lot. Yeah. And, I'll put my foot down from time to time because
I could just tell they were not happy, Right. I'm like, it's $500. Like, what's?
And also, you want them to be happy. You want them to prefer you. You want them to come back to you.
I want them to end on a good, wonderful note where they're like, oh my God, this was like amazing.
She went above and beyond.
If they disagree about like, they don't deserve like this credit, like it's obviously like we know it's an emotional like childish reaction
for sure.
A lot of times, and like they just don't want to like give up their toy or whatever.
Yep.
But like we can smooth that over.
Kids. It's kids.
No, but it's true.
There's so many emotions that go into it.
These people have like like 100+ million. It's not about the money for them. It's about
because it's
$500.
It's about something like that they just don't feel like is good. So
and you want them to walk away feeling good. I agree. I agree.
Yes.
Okay, what's the weirdest thing or situation you've ever walked in on?
That I've walked in on like
anywhere.
In real estate? Oh, in real estate or just in life?
Everybody says that. And I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Real estate.
Yeah, real estate.
Oh, I don't know if I've walked in on anything weird.
I haven't really. I mean, I've walked in on like squatters and like ran back out or whatever. But like some people have walked in on
I've walked in on a
crazy
squatter.
shit.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, but nothing traumatizing.
Nothing
That's good.
Yeah, nothing too traumatizing.
That's good. Okay, well, I'm really excited. Oh yeah, what about in real life?
Nothing really in real life either.
Well, back in high school.
See, I'm like,
I don't know what you guys are talking about. Anyway, next question.
Yeah.
Okay, if you could be anything other than a real estate agent, what would you be and why?
I'm very interested in this question.
Well, I would definitely be involved in fashion somehow. Okay. So I'd probably, in my dream world, had been like designing clothes or just working on like, I love shooting content and like doing like I love putting something great together.
Yeah.
So I really have like
do you like being? I know you like being a part of it, but would you like to be like a stylist and like a fashion designer where you're putting together and then like a model does all that stuff?
Yes.
Or would you? Okay.
I would love to do that too.
I think you'd be so good.
I just
at that.
like
It's not too late.
I just love all of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's not too late, but then I'd have to segue out of like my real estate. I mean, I have so much other stuff going on, but I'm really interested in like writing. I have like some like screenplays ideas I'm always like thinking about, and
that's
cool.
Reality TV show ideas I'm like thinking about and working on. So yeah, no, I just like doing artistic things too.
I love that.
But real estate really gives you something where obviously building wealth is so important.
Yes.
And I feel like my family really taught me to like invest in real estate, which is like number one.
Huge.
And then that gives you freedom to like follow your other dream stuff, which for me is getting dressed up and doing my social media as part of my job.
Yeah.
So you get a little more freedom when you start doing those things. So I think it's so important that people are actually not just finding homes for like their clients, but like you got to buy stuff too. You've got to have a plan.
Yeah. No, I love that.
And that gives you freedom.
Right.
Yes.
And then, later on, you can live a lot of lives. You can explore the things that you love when you're
because it's never too late. 40s,
never
50s,
too late.
60s, it's not. It's really, really not.
It's never too late. So many people started their companies at like 40, 41, 42.
50.
I think Martha Stewart was 50.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being
here.
here.
You guys, that was so fun.
Okay, and we're going to come raid your closet. Cool.
Okay.
Can't wait.
Now we're not allowed.
Even though we're not allowed, we're going to steal all your clothes.
Yeah.
Anyway. Thank you so much, Vidi.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I loved it. Mwah.
Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Behind the Lockbox is produced and edited by Property Showcase Group. If you like this podcast, please share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, or review this podcast. Thanks for your support. See you next week.